as a brand architect who's tasked to build brands both in the Philippines and also overseas, you always look for that point of inspiration that tells you, wow, this is a brand that could easily make it big. When I first came across the Alchemista line, and then eventually I met Georgina and Fred, I had this fluttering in my stomach, that eureka moment that tells me, wow, this is an emerging Filipino brand that could really make it. Georgina's body of work is very much similar to the appreciation of fine wines or diamonds. The first, of course, that I've been able to glean from her work is her point of inspiration. Any artist starts off with that, but what makes Georgina really very distinctive is that her point of inspiration is actually very similar to my points of inspiration. That of love of country. As with any artist, immediately after they're hit by the point of inspiration, I find it so fascinating how such an experienced and well-known designer like Georgina rolls up her sleeves and becomes a student yet again, despite the fact that she's already one of the most prolific jewelry designers here in the Philippines. She's immersive, she studies, she travels, and she hoards, according to Fred, a lot of these visual stimuli. If there's truly one thing that conveys the global sensibility of Alchemista and Georgina, is how she approaches technique. A lot of what she does is actually the same, if not even better, than the older and more progressive design houses overseas. But in her case, she just doesn't perfect, but she also elevates and pushes the boundaries of her technique. The fourth point that I find inspiring in her work is whether it be precious stones or metals, she's able to find a way to make all those materials dialogue with each other. The way she approaches jewelry design is very similar to how advanced and progressive conceptual artists approach art. Now, after all those four, she's also, in a way, kind of techie. Georgina actually adopts a lot of the customer journey, the user experience into how she makes it. As to whether it's deliberate or intuitive, I don't know, but it's still pure genius. At the end of the day, brands are a statement of your beliefs. I think this is the most important function that Georgina and Alchemista's brand brings to my life. It's a statement of who you are and what you stand for. Georgina's pieces are my absolute staples because she seems to understand without her really knowing how my day will progress. I'm very, very fond of her detachables and her dangling pieces because you could actually mix and match some of the attachments. They're light, you barely feel it. You only are reminded that you're wearing something that's a work of art when people actually come up to you and compliment you for it. And I'm always proud to say that, yay, this is a Filipina designer.